So, we return after finishing both the Witch Queen and Shadowkeep, looking to take on the last of the easy Destiny 2 campaigns. Yeah, I said it. But, let's touch on the rules for those of us that are new. Whenever possible, all damage must be dealt via melee attacks, which are the unpowered melee, powered melee, glaive melee attack, and sword attacks, even the caster frame heavy attack. I also allowed the use of well, because I'm doing this on Warlock, and I like being able to stay alive. We've got a glaive, the Enigma actually, as well as a heavy caster frame sword. And for now, there are no foreseeable upgrades for the future. So, if you've seen my other challenge runs so far, I've been having a hell of a time recording this stuff, and I fucked up the recording of the first mission and had to start the character over. I forgot to buy anything while I was at the tower, so I didn't have anything for the first mission, including my super or my healing grenade, and you can see me realizing that right here. But we begin the search for Varix by searching this tent, then clearing several waves of enemies so we can get through a barrier and head toward the distress call. We watch Eramis be mean for a minute, and watch Varix be his usual spineless bastard self, before we finally step in to save him, which of course goes flawlessly. And then it's time to face off with this brig. I absolutely clown on the brig, which also causes all of the other enemies to despawn, which I was not expecting, to be frank with you. And thus we complete the first mission of Beyond Light, melee only. I then head to Ikora in the tower and buy literally everything in the solar subclass, do some build crafting, and return to Europa for the second mission of Beyond Light. The new Kel has us traversing Europa to visit the new city of Reese Reborn, formerly the Braytech colony of Eventide. I showed the Exploder Shanks who the boss around these parts is, and they disprove my theory, before I mount an attack on the fallen stronghold. Eramis is not happy that I interrupted her MLM pitch to her old high school friends, and proceeds to have her Twitter followers attempt to physically cancel me. I successfully flee, and finish the second mission of Beyond Light. Rising Resistance, the third mission of Beyond Light, is incredibly easy if you don't just assume you know what's going on, and take off somewhere else entirely. And end up having to return back to where you start the mission, because that's where the objective actually is. I set up some equipment, hear some voices, and decide that following my schizophrenic delusions is a good move, which actually leads me directly to the Exo Stranger, and my two super weird friends who are probably dating, meaning that I have beaten the third mission of Beyond Light. Elsie Bray is upset that I don't call her mommy like some challenge runners.
Apparently asking for mommy milkies isn't the proper way to ask for a Shatter Dive aspect.
And thus she tells me I have to go learn things, and sends me off to find some pyramid cruxes in weird places. I present the customary offering to the darkness when I arrive, and I am surprised when it actually works this time, and the crux gives me the new Baja Blast gelato. Next time, I'm going to ask for a new sparrow. I proceed to very slowly stab everything, because they provide a lot of enemies, assuming you're going to test out your new super. But I have a stick, and the melee isn't that great, to be real with you. After they're all gone, I ask the darkness for a new sparrow, and it decides that humoring me was a mistake, and as punishment, sucks the Baja Blast right out of me. I open a chest for some reason, and return to Varix to see what he thinks of all this. Varix is surprisingly upset that I'm using the exact same power that has corrupted Eramis, so he sends me to go slaughter his countrymen to help me things feel better. This leads me to searching for one of Eramis's lieutenants, where a friendly blueberry assists me. However, a random public event appears, and manages to glitch out the quest step I was on, so that the enemy in question never spawns. So, I leave, return, causing several more problems for the local Fallen that Varix wants to save, before finally defeating the House Salvation Elite. This wanton savagery against the Fallen catches the attention of the Warrior, one of Eramis's henchmen, who takes the opportunity to invite us to come and try and kill her. I mean, I was going to do that anyway, but now I'm oddly reluctant. We proceed through the Empire hunt, having a blast with the Shanks, briefly panicking about the puzzles, and defeating yet another brig. Then we square up for the showdown with Phylaxis, the Warrior. She has immunity phases, because Bungie just loves torturing me for some reason, before the darkness decides that I must at least be funny enough to temporarily regrant the Baja Blast juice, and I destroy the Warrior with ease, before the darkness hits me with Taco Bell Aftermath, and I lose the juice power. Elsie is proud of me, or so she says, but she sends me to offer yet another small child to the Pyramid Crux in exchange for Mountain Dew flavored ice treats. The local Fallen take offense to this action for some reason, and I decide to show them why I truly am the powerful soldier I am. Mental damage. The darkness yet again denies my request for a new bike, and I am sent off to talk to Varix. Varix points me in the direction of yet another old coworker of his, this one having a weird robot fetish instead of just being a sadist like the previous one. I do the Destiny 1 protect an object from several waves of enemies for a few minutes, before I am invited to test my wits against the Technocrat in the Technocrat Empire hunt. And by wits, well, let's just say haha, my glaive. I wander through the halls of Bray Exoscience, poking the local Fallen, before coming face to face with Praxis, who calls me a lot of oddly hurtful names.
You are an outlier, aberrant.
Before he runs away. I track him down, intent on giving him a lecture on why bullying is not an appropriate activity for someone of his station, and to get the point across, I destroy all of his toys, hit him a bunch, and mock his dead body. Eramis throws a hissy fit, before I discuss the events happening with Zavala, who somehow just knows what is going on. He gives me a pep talk, which I ignore, before I visit my least favorite person in the entire franchise, just so I can go do a law sector. Next up is the Glassway Strike, which is one of the strikes of all time. Quite frankly, not a big fan of this one, ever since they ruined the little hidey hole I used to use in Grandmasters for an easy cheese. But we run it anyway. It's just me and a blueberry for a while, before another one joins in right towards the end of it all, but it's business as usual. Glaive, 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 incendiary snap, healing nade, repeat. I try to start skipping things, but then I feel bad for being that guy speedrunning a strike, so I just kind of stand there and be useless for a little while, which also makes me feel bad. I decide to properly contribute, so I beeline and whack Eramis a few times, just as a little threat for later, and begin hacking away at the bosses. In all honesty, this would have taken half the time, if not for that stupid Vex Milk pool where the bosses spawn. And at points you can see me just kind of like stand there and wait. There's lore, which I ignore, and I finish the Glassway Strike, melee only. We reconvene with Elsie, and go to commune with the final Darkness Crux. You can see me get outclassed by this guy in a skimmer, while I've got a green sparrow, which was fun, before I present the customary offering. The Darkness returns my Taco Bell ice powers, and I put them to excellent use by dying repeatedly. I died more in this room than the rest of the run combined, which is impressive, because it's just a bunch of ads. Varix then asks me to help some refugees flee Europa to connect with the House Light and my best buddy Mithrax, and I say yes, because I love Mithrax. It's the classic Destiny, go do this thing 3 times in 3 different spots, and defeat 3 mini-bosses while you do it. And it's over pretty quick. Finally, we're on to the Kell of Darkness, the final mission in Beyond Light. I speed past a bunch of Fallen, and break my way into Reese Reborn. I intercept the warring Vex and Fallen, skip over it with a speedrun strat I learned while farming Cloudstrike, take out a brig and clean house in the first room. I continue on to the room where the Darkness Crux is located, and clear that out free of issues, allowing me to move on to the teleporter into Eramis' stronghold. This room here, with the large brig and all the shanks, surprisingly easy. Allow me to play you the unedited footage.
Shatter it to pieces.
After that, we meet this fella, who's all posed up like he's supposed to intimidate me. I show him that that is not the case. And at last, we come face to face with Eramis. I emote at her to establish dominance, and then we take her health down before my Well of Radiance even runs out. And it's in this cutscene here, where we get to say the only cool line in the whole campaign.
The only thing we have to break here is you.
And it is time to truly introduce Eramis to the power of the melee only run. The trick here was variety. Sword swings did heavy damage and helped me get back to close range when her slam attack would knock me away. The glaive melee was fast and powerful, arrayed for a quick burst of damage right at the start, and the powered melee came into play during the slam attack as well, as I'd use it to keep up the pressure when I was flung back. It doesn't take too long, but we finally show Eramis who the Darkness' favorite son really is. And we finally finish Beyond Light, melee only. Now, I have one last surprise for you. You might recall at the start of the video when I said, "For now, there are no foreseeable upgrades for the future." That was kind of a lie. A little bit of a lie. At the end of a Shadowkeep only run, the last video, I received an exotic engram from Ikora, because I retorted the entire Beyond Light run before I had a chance to go re-record the end of Shadowkeep. I didn't have the exotic that I got from Shadowkeep during the Beyond Light run. But now I can showcase which exotic dropped, because it might be only the most useful exotic we could have gotten. That's right, folks, we're going into the Lightfall melee only run with a fresh set of Ophidian Aspect gauntlets. And friends, that's all for this run. If you've enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Stick around the channel to see some more runs coming out on Fridays at 4:30 Central. But for today, that's all. Until I see you next time, have a good one.